It's time for another edition of Lisa's Christmas Music Sampler, and privileged to have her back. We collabed with her with a TV show last time she was here. Who knows what will happen this time? It's Lindsey Stirling. Welcome back to the Lisa Show.
Thanks for having me back.
It seems like there's been a bit since we saw you. Certainly a global pandemic. That happened.
Yes.
But now as we sort of make our way into the holiday season, I know that it's a question that people ask each other, like on the subway or on the bus, but how are you?
I'm doing really well. I cannot complain. And I just feel like I'm so grateful all the more for everything I have after having a lot of it being, kind of taken away.
I don't want to dwell too much in the past, obviously, because the future is now, and even with the holiday season, something great to look forward to. But where life, I know for a lot of performers and musicians, sort of got turned upside down. What was it for you that kept you going through that time where you couldn't do this thing that you loved?
It's interesting. I feel like my options, turned into several things that I've actually brought into the present. I started doing more streaming on Twitch and realized, oh my gosh, this was kind of a default, but I really actually enjoy the community that I've gotten to create with my fans on, these streaming platforms. And, so some of these things that were like last resort stuff, I've been like, wow, this actually is kind of nice and kind of cool. And so that was one of the things I did. Also, last Christmas, I rallied the troops.
You gave me your heart, as I remember, and then the very next day I threw it away. That wasn't what you were going to say.
Well, I don't remember that particular thing, but if you say so. But I do have such fond memories. We did a Christmas special last year. We filmed it in the middle of the pandemic so carefully, and it was such a blessing to be able to get with my team and do that and to create something that we were proud of when it was a time when it was really hard to find ways to create things that you were proud of. So those are some of the things I fell back on, and I'm just grateful I got to stay creative.
So then, staying in the present, here we are in the holiday season, and our minds are turned towards traditions and family and connection. What are the things that growing up, that the Stirlings were like, man, this is a thing we do year after year?
Let's see. Well, we're big into the pajama tradition, getting new pajamas on Christmas Eve, and it's to this day is like a tradition. My mom doorbell ditches the pajamas to us, and it's hilarious. Like, now we're all adults, but we still wait around on Christmas Eve for like, is the delivery going to happen? And we all try to catch her. And one year we caught her. And anyways, it's just hilarious that even now that we know, she still tries to sneakily escape with the doorbell ditched pajamas. So yeah, that's one thing, but just baking, and we do a Christmas craft every year, which I love, and I don't know, that's some of our favorite things.
It's traditions and it's connection and it's time with family. I'm wondering, I want to sample a song. I'll let you be the pick of the song that we play, but if there's someone that has been living under a rock for the last decade and doesn't know or maybe hasn't heard your music before, to give them a sample of a Christmas song or rendition that we could share with folks.
Oh man, well, my favorite Christmas song to this day, but especially growing up, it was always Carol of the Bells. And so I say let's give a taste of my version and my twist of Carol of the Bells.
And that's Carol of the Bells. I'm visiting with Lindsey Stirling as part of Lisa's Christmas Music Sampler. And, I love that you introed it as your version of it, because you can definitely tell that it is, in fact, you. It has that Stirling kind of spin on it that I know people have grown to love. And now it's the world over. It's not just the United States over. It's not just the West over. Worldwide famous, I should say. How has that changed how you celebrate the holidays?
I mean, in a way it has changed it, because ever since I wrote my Christmas album, I kind of have celebrated Christmas on and off throughout the entire year. So, you write Christmas music in the summer so you can release it in the winter. You plan a Christmas tour in the fall so that you can go on it in the winter. So it's just kind of funny that when people are like, you can't play Christmas music before, Thanksgiving. I'm like, oh, pish posh. I celebrate Christmas year round, and I still absolutely love it. I love getting into the season when it's like still sweaty and hot outside. So yeah.
When we talk about Christmas songs, there are those songs. You mentioned the Carol of the Bells being that tradition for you. There are these songs that have these very like visceral, just they bring back either the memory of the loved one that couldn't be there one holiday or is no longer with us. Is there a particular song, aside from tradition, that you have either an original or a version of that has sort of that deeper meaning to you, either around Christmas or around a loved one?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a version of Angels We Have Heard on High, which, kind of does tie back to tradition, because another thing we Stirlings did was we would go caroling. And I didn't realize that that's something that people didn't do all the time. I thought that was just a thing that everybody did, but we'd make cookies and then we'd carol to our neighbors. And I don't know why, but Angels We Have Heard on High was the song that the Stirling family rocked at. Like, we had all the harmonies, like 3-part harmonies, and we would go sing this to our friends and neighbors. And so that's always been like a very like timely song that takes me back to my childhood. But since having my dad pass away several years ago, it's made me just really think about him every time I hear that song, tying me back to those childhood memories, but also the fact that I believe so strongly that he's now my angel. I believe that he helps me and comforts me and gives me the love and strength that I sometimes don't have on my own. And so now when I hear Angels We've Heard on High, I remember the memories, and I also think of my personal angel up there.
I love that background around it. Let's play the song. And as I listened to that song, I couldn't help but imagine a porch full of Stirlings harmonizing the 3-part harmonies on the Glorias, especially. I mean, that is some musical talent.
Thank you. I'm very grateful. I was raised in a home where music was just kind of a part of our house. And, like my grandma taught us to sing harmonies when we were kids. And so I'm grateful for that upbringing in music that kind of led me to the violin and where I'm at now. So thank you, angels we've heard on high.
It's such a great just time of year to be able to have friends and loved ones, and whether our time of year means performing for thousands or millions, or it just means gathering around the fireplace and sharing stories of Christmas past. I think it's a unique time of year where everything else really just doesn't matter. It sort of disappears, and we're able to do that. Are you doing anything particular for this Christmas? Something either new or visiting something long forgotten that's going to make this year special?
Well, gosh, I think going on tour is going to make this year special again because, we weren't able to do it last year. And now on tour, we have we've done it enough times that we have our own Christmas traditions as part of the tour. It's like most of the time you think of family, and, children and around the Christmas tree. But, for those of us that don't have families of our own, it's like, we make traditions wherever you're at, and the people around you become your family. And so even though I'll get to go home on Christmas Eve to be with my biological family that I love so much, we always do like a secret Santa from bus to bus, which I love. And it turns into like a mix between thoughtful gifts and gag gifts. And then the last gift we all give is like a very thoughtful gift to our secret Santa. And we have to like sneakily deliver them around the tour. And I don't know, it's a tradition we started several years ago. And it's like actually been a very like bonding experience as people like try to learn about the person that's their secret Santa. And it's something we all look forward to.
It's something that I think a lot of people connect with you for, because I mean, you're amazingly talented, and I know that you know that, and whether or not you feel comfortable when someone says something like that, I hope that that that's some of the draw, but your genuineness and knowing that not only you care for those whom you perform with, and you care for, like you said, your biological family of origin, which I love, but also you care for those whom the music touches and hope to be able to inspire hope or the thought and meaning of Christmas as you share and perform. Is there one particular song that, as you look to the tour this holiday season, that you're just super excited to play and that maybe we could share right now?
Yeah, I'm going to throw out there one that's, it's actually my favorite cover I've ever done. And I've done a lot of covers, and it got thrown onto the Christmas album. It was kind of the last song I wrote for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really cool. And it's a cover of I Wonder As I Wander, which is a Celtic hymn. And I decided to take it in a very different direction, and a much like, I guess, kind of a darker direction. But still, it's a song about hope, and it's a song about turning to Christ. Through the dark times, like as we all wander and get lost and sometimes feel like we're blinded, but like turning towards whatever your beacon of hope is. And for me, that is, my spirituality in Christ, and realizing that that is the way that we can all, like, whatever your beacon of hope is, like turning to it and not running from it. And so, yeah, I love this song. I love performing it. And we have some really special stuff we're going to do this tour that I've never done before. And I'm actually training for it currently to try to be able to do it. So I'm very excited about this song.
I wonder as I wander out under the sky, how Jesus, my Savior, did come forth to die for poor ordinary people like you and like us.
It's been so amazing to have you here on the show, to be able to share some of your music, to be able to share some of your spirit, and just be able to hear about the success that you're having. You know that you are always welcome back on the show, and we hope that you take that invitation seriously, because we mean it. Anytime, if you're bored, you can try and call us. We will pick up that phone and we will talk about whatever you've got going on, okay?
Oh my gosh, I love this invitation. Thank you so much.
Middle of the night. I'm not promising that anyone will answer, but you're more than welcome to try. Lindsey Stirling, thank you for being a guest here on The Lisa Show as another Lisa's Christmas Music Sampler.